This cable station or its does not. The following is a public access program and does not necessarily represent the views of this cable station. Does not.
Someone rented a Mercedes AMG. Someone rented this. This is not going to look so great. I'm going to try and zoom in, but someone rented this Mercedes AMG and crashed it today. I don't know how. We just got here. They've left it there for some reason. Don't know why. But at any rate, that's the news here from Streets of Willow on this beautiful California afternoon.
Welcome back to the channel. Do you know what we're doing in the bathroom right now? I'm talking to you, there we go. I'm talking to you about changing the throttle body in Orange Car. Why? Because we have a bucking issue. What's that bucking issue? The bucking issue is that Mustang bucks harder than any Mustang I've ever seen buck before. We've got a real bucking problem.
What I would recommend is possible. Hey, how's it going? Good, man.
Oh, it comes right off.
Yeah. I watch shows.
I saw it. All right.
I watch shows.
Let me take the rest.
Wait, where'd it go? Here it is.
Yeah, if we don't have to take off this entire box. Just need to disconnect the tube.
I'll be gosh darn.
It is a 2.
It is a twin bore.
So what's the problem?
Okay, so as we found out during the busiest part of our lives, we had this over at Addiction Motorsports and Galpin Autosports, and we thought we still had the super Cobra Jet oval throttle body on there because of the bucking issues, and we were going to replace it. And apparently we've got the twin bore on there. I've taken off the GoPro helmet and I wanted to show you that we do have the twin bore throttle body on there, which is interesting because... So the question we're trying to figure out now is, we thought we had the single on, which is the monoblade. Now we've got the twin bore. What I'm confused at is who put this on. Second of all, not only who put it on, but the real question is why is the car still bucking? Because usually that throttle body is the cause for what appears like a jump. It feels like turbo kicks in at 3,500 RPMs and the car bucks at low RPMs. So I guess the question is now, why is that still happening? I'm imagining it's somewhere in the tune. It just needs to be ironed out a little bit. So not a big deal. The engine is completely reliable. We've had great success with it, but it does appear like it's going to need a new tune. So I was recollecting with my father, and we remember when we took this car in to Galpin Autosports for a few rounds of engine performance enhancements, such as the throttle body, the Cobra Jet air intake system, the Cobra Jet intake manifold, cams, things like this. During that period of time, my sons were born. And really, my dad and I and the whole family kind of dropped everything we were doing, obviously, because we welcomed 2 baby boys into the family. And at that time, we had such a good relationship with our tuner and Galpin Autosports that we trusted them to do what they needed to do to get the car where we wanted it. And we gave them the go-ahead, and so the last we remember, the single blade throttle body was on there. And from the outside, both of the throttle bodies look exactly the same. They are identical. So that's what's funny, is by looking from the outside, we just assumed the single blade was on there. And when we experienced the bucking issue at low RPMs, we assumed, hey, we just got to change out the throttle body, we'll be good. But again, we do have a twin bore on there, so I'm imagining probably around the time right after my first son was born, before my second son was born, someone either at Addiction or Galpin put on the twin bore because they recognized the bucking issue. However, we still have it. So we're gonna go back, figure out when that was put on, and we're going to tighten up the tune. I don't know exactly what that means. I'm not sure if it's a fueling issue, trim issue, timing issue. We're gonna take a look at it, get with Eddie over at Addiction, Galpin Autosports, and get this thing looked at. All right, and just got back from Rydell Chevrolet. We picked up Dave's slicks for tomorrow. They are changing out one of the wheel bearings on the driver's side. Wheel bearing's incredibly important, so we need that for safety to keep the wheel on the car tomorrow so we can race. So what's really cool about tomorrow, actually, I'm not driving. The Boss, we did find out, as you know, we have the twin bore throttle body on there. We don't know why it's still bucking. It's still a bucking problem. We're gonna get it over to Eddie at Addiction Motorsports. He's gonna check it out. No orange car tomorrow. And the Porsche actually has a misfire
on cylinder 5, I believe. So we've got to get that checked out. We're actually going to do that ourselves at Tracking Ponies Race Garage. We're going to do all the repairs ourselves because actually it's a lot easier than it sounds, even though it's mid-engine. So tomorrow, the dream is coming true. I finally am gonna have a chance to get to the track and ride in other people's cars. We're gonna be at street, so I'm gonna have a chance to ride in their cars, ask them how they like their car, and get a feel for how their car rides on track. All right, so we are at Dave's house. We are just about to pick him up. We got his tires in the back, and we are headed for an awesome day. So you can probably hear a lot of the road noise. My truck here, Beauty, isn't exactly the best sealed and insulated cabin in the world. It's a 2002 Ford F-150, and I am lucky to be bringing this to the track today because why? It's providing a service. I have Dave's tires in the back. He's got his full race slicks all in the back here, and we actually have one riding in the middle there in the back. And we are almost at Streets of Willow. What is so great on these private track days is that you can get here in the afternoon and run as long as you want and leave. You can show up in the morning, you can show up in the afternoon or the evening. Well, you want to show up a little earlier than the evening. You can run as long as you want and then you can leave. So I'm really glad to be joining Dave on this private track day. I'm going to learn a lot from him, and both cars will be fixed next time. So hopefully we'll be either bringing out the Boss 302 or the GT4. It is 71 degrees outside. Just gorgeous. Just perfect. Perfect day to race. Wow, there is no one here today. This truly is a private track day. Oh my gosh, like literally there is no one here. Wow. Well, when you go to a private track day at Streets of Willow, this is what you get. Absolute emptiness. There's just no one here. Right now, Dave is right there on the track, having a good time on some street tires before we release the monstrosities that I brought in the bed of Beauty. Let me show you these monstrosities. 345 series and 315 series tires. Obviously the 315s are up front, 345s out back, full slick, and as you can tell, we've got about, which is good, he's on the street tires right now because we have about, I don't know, half a track day left on these, if that. I mean, I don't know how well the camera's picking that up, but there's no tread left on these things. Well, Dave thinks there's a half day left, so we'll see. But right now, he's out there. There is a crash. I'm gonna try and zoom in. Someone rented a Mercedes AMG. Someone rented this. This is not gonna look so great. I'm gonna try and zoom in, but someone rented this Mercedes AMG. Crashed it today. I don't know how, we just got here. They've left it there for some reason. Don't know why. But at any rate, that's the news here from Streets of Willow on this beautiful California afternoon.
I guess the airbag broke the windshield,
So for me, this is a really big deal. I know a lot of the big boys and big girls in the industry come to these types of events all the time, where the private track day events, it's not open to the public. This is the first time I've been to something like this, and it's just really strange to me to see this place empty, because usually it's packed with cars and people, and you know, cars on the track, people working on their cars, people eating, people socializing, and it's just completely empty. So for me, this is a really big deal. Again, I'm not that guy that does a really good job at acting like I've been there before, so I can't just pretend like this isn't a big deal. I'm really excited to just be in this environment and experience it in a completely different way.
tires warmed up and you were gone.
I was really avoiding doing another voiceover, but I have to this time, and I have to admit, I made a mistake. One of the GoPro cameras I brought did not charge completely, and in fact, the battery went bad. So I lost one camera, and not only that, I didn't bring the right microphone cable adapter to get sound for the video. The only GoPro that was working was on top of the car. Why? Because 2 of Dave's GoPros failed as well. It was just one of those days, and it started with a cracked wheel bearing on the front driver's side of the C6 Z06. It felt great to finally get on track, even though we didn't have that much traction left on the Hoosier slicks. Despite all of this, we spent a lot of time on the track. But you know what? I'm not going to show you hours of racing video because, let's face it, it's really hard to watch road racing over and over again, minute after minute. It's great for education, learning lines, braking, accelerating, and a lot of other factors. But I don't know that we did anything that exciting today to show you the entire hour's worth of video. Dave was averaging between 1 minute 23 seconds and 1 minute 25 seconds. His best time on this track, 1 minute 19 seconds, and he averages 1 minute 22 seconds. But the clips I'll show you right now actually involve Dave playing around with a McLaren on track. Toward the end of the day, there was only Dave and the McLaren left on track. This was Dave's friend JP. JP brought out Sonny, who's a famous race car driver who was giving him lessons and helping him dial in the McLaren on track. You can see here in the next few minutes how Dave and Sonny trade places on track. What I really love about this is Dave is an excellent driver, but it also shows the capabilities of the C6 Z06. There were times when Sonny, a professional race car driver, had trouble shaking Dave on some of the straightaways and corners. It just goes to show if you know how to drive this C6 Z06, really, you can set some really fast, blistering lap times, and do it with consistency. After riding along lap after lap in the C6 Z06, I have a newfound respect for this car and this platform. It is so capable that really, it is one of the best race car bargains you can buy for a car that you can drive on the street and take to the track. I'll let the next few minutes here play out. You can watch the Corvette trade places with the McLaren a few times. One of the things I like best about watching this is learning Dave's lines, as he has driven Streets of Willow so many times and he really has conquered consistency in fast lap times at this course.
just got off the track with Dave, and even with the very, very limited traction we had on the Hoosiers, he was running between a 123 and a 125, which is great. It's been one of those days though. His GoPros wouldn't turn on in his car. He was having issues with his GoPros. My microphone didn't turn on, so I couldn't put it inside the car or even near the exhaust pipe to get some good driving sounds while we're out on the track. The next time there is a private track day event, I believe it's going to be at Willow Springs, and we're definitely going to bring the Boss 302 for that event. And I would like to bring the GT4 as well, because those are two different driving experiences, and we could really get out here and dial the Boss 302 in. It would be the perfect type of environment to do a full test and tune. You can go out on the track anytime you want. So it's a great time to test the suspension, dial it in.
And it's because my legs are short. I have to be close, so I have to push the wheel. Yeah.
Smart move.
Yeah, thanks, bro. Thank you. Yeah, not saying that. I'm not planning to
Gorgeous. All things considered, that was a really, really great day. I learned a lot from Dave out on the track. And although we had our issues, Dave had a cracked wheel bearing to deal with this morning. We show up, two of his GoPros weren't working, one of them completely quit. One of my GoPros stopped working. In fact, it was the one that was actually getting footage of Dave driving while I was in the passenger seat. That GoPro just completely stopped. I don't know why, so again, the only GoPro footage I have is with the GoPro on top of the car. Thank you so much for watching this video and joining us today as we went to Streets of Willow on a private track day event with a C6 Z06. What an amazing car. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like the notification bell, subscribe to the like button.
Is a public access program and does not is a public access program and is a is a public access program and does